Korean culture has quietly blended into Indian life, from K-dramas, K-pop to food, fashion, beauty, not replacing Indian culture but filling a space with familiarity, with connection and a new Asian pop influence.
So we start with that all interesting conversation, and then we will be going over to our person of interest. We'll be talking to a 9-year-old, goes by the name Vedart. He is redefining learning through unschooling, a very interesting concept. It's driven by curiosity, real world skills, entrepreneurship and also smart money habits. He's not just learning differently, he's also helping other families rethink education itself.
And then Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman met his Bangladesh counterpart Aminul Islam, an ICC Deputy Chair in Lahore, as efforts continue to resolve the standoff over Pakistan's proposed boycott of the T20 World Cup match against India.
And finally, we'll be giving you a lowdown on the proposed 5% Nama Metro fare hike in Bengaluru. It's been put on hold after the centre's intervention. That and much more coming up this morning. Somewhere between a late-night K-drama binge and a plate of ramyeon, India quietly caught feelings for Korea. It just happened. For India, the gateway moment came earlier with Gangnam Style. You've all heard of that famous song. Scroll through Instagram, you'll see K-pop choreography shot in Delhi lanes. You switch to Netflix, there will be Hindi-dubbed Korean dramas as well playing in Indian living rooms. Step outside and you will catch Korean cafes and bubble tea joints. Let's not forget that. All of that popping up, all in India.
Absolutely, and this isn't just fandom, this is cultural adoption. Korean dramas slipped into Indian homes almost politely. No loud entry, no rebellion, just stories that felt familiar. Well, the influence doesn't stop at screens. Kimchi is now found in several Indian fridges. Ramyeon is replacing Maggi at midnight. And if we talk fashion and beauty, oversized hoodies, clean silhouettes, gender-fluid styling, glass skin routines are the latest trends.
Anime, K-pop, K-dramas, it's all blending into a wider Asian pop culture moment where Indian youth are looking east, not west for inspiration. Korean culture didn't replace something in India, it's filled a gap. It's a wave, it's a story of connection or curiosity, not of replacement. It's also still being written. Remember, it all began during COVID-19 or a little before COVID-19, but ever since there's been no looking back. Let's quickly go over to our guest joining us this morning, Manas Ghosh, Assistant Professor, Department of Film Studies, Jadavpur University, Kolkata, joins us as our first guest alongside digital creator Shweta Salyan, who's also living in Korea for the last 3-4 years. Good morning, Manasji. If I can begin with you first on what your thoughts here are. We spoke of how this is a phenomena that slowly crawled into the Indian mind close to COVID-19, and there's been no looking back. Unfortunately, this conversation is back into the mainstream after that horrific tragedy, the triple suicide in Ghaziabad. But nonetheless, there are other sides to the story that need to be highlighted. So since you've written extensively on how Korean culture is finding its way into the Indian hearts, tell us what your opening thoughts are, sir.
Yes. Actually, the Korean culture, came to India through Burma. Manipur-Burma border. It's first entered into Indian territory in the northeastern India in 1990s onwards, actually. And then finally, in the time of COVID, it appeared as a boom, complete boom in fashion, in beauty, K-dramas, everything in boom. And it is now Korean drama is actually if you want to summarize me that why Korean drama completely Asian culture, Asian popularity, youth particularly popular. Then it is that Korean drama is propagating a kind of new morality which is appropriate for this age, for this new era, and the youth is, accepting it in Indian film industry, in Indian television industry, in Indian, internet platforms like YouTube. Yeah, it is adapted by the new youth.
Okay, so you're actually telling us that this goes all the way back to 1990s, not really COVID-19. That may have seen the peak really
Right. It
of
must have
this kind of
popularized it,
influence,
right.
but nonetheless, it goes back all the way to 1990s. Mr. Banas, stay on with us. Let's bring in Shweta. Yeah.
Absolutely, Shweta. Thank you so much for staying on with us. Now I can see your background as well. We're seeing a lot of Korean culture influences. What sparked your interest in Korean culture first? When did this first begin for you?
So I literally came to Korea like amidst like the COVID pandemic. So it was very hard, but I think not just me, a lot of people like grew interest in Korea during the COVID because I think OTT and everything was like a big hit during the COVID, and people started watching K-dramas. Like I think it was because they wanted to explore something new. So they watched K-dramas like Crash Landing on You and everything. But my love in Korea started like way back in 2017. I was watching channels like VH. Like I had interest in international music, so I used to watch channels like VH1 and 9XN. And there was this one Korean song that came, and I was wondering which language is this, and like who are these people? So I searched them up. It was BTS, and I started listening to the songs and even searched up lyrics. Then I came to know, okay, this is Korean. This is how the language is. And because of my everlasting love for learning languages, I started to learn through YouTube and everything. But obviously, there was a limitation to tell how much I can learn. So I was like, why not go to Korea and learn the language, live among the people, live the culture and everything. So in 2022, amidst the COVID, like end of the COVID, but during the pandemic, I came to Korea. For first 1.5 years, I did my like Korean language course. Like I went to SNU Language Institute, and then since I wanted to work in the Korean media entertainment industry, I'm doing after finishing my language institute, I'm doing my master's right now.
Very nice.
So
You know,
that's a summary of
That is
my
some
life till
dedication, I
now.
have to
and
say.
Shweta, before she joined in, she was so nervous of facing the camera. You're doing a great job, Shweta.
I mean-
She's also an influencer, so we'll talk about what kind of fan engagement that she's come across, etc. But before that, Shweta, why don't we get you started in a way that you can introduce yourself in Korean, maybe, because you've been there since 2022. You've learned the language yourself. So how would you introduce yourself in the language?
안녕하세요. 저는 인도에서 온 쉐타라고 합니다. 25살이고요. 그리고 한국에 온 지 3년 됐어요. 한국어랑 한국 문화에 관심 너무 많아서 그냥 여기 와서 직접 경영하면 어떨까 싶어서 한국에 왔습니다. 지금 저는 숭실대학교에서 언론홍보학과 전공하고 있습니다. 그리고 그 외에도 인스타에서 인플루엔서 활동도 하고 있습니다. 만나서 반갑습니다.
How lovely. I could just about hear influencer. That's all.
That does not sound like someone who learned Korean just in 2022. Mr. Ghosh, if I could just come to you on that as well. And as Shweta mentioned, Crash Landing on You, I feel like for a lot of us, that's where the obsession really began. When we talk about the impact that TV shows, OTT content that we're consuming has on the viewers, what is your assessment? It goes beyond just the kind of content you're consuming, the storylines. It's really about the culture, and there's a certain familiarity, as you were mentioning earlier as well.
I can share with you an experience of my research on K-wave, Korean wave, that I conducted. It was just after COVID, and the other fieldworks, traveling was not possible. So he was arranging a fan meeting at my university, Jadavpur University. People came, young people came from different parts of Kolkata and West Bengal. Many of them were from Northeast, studying in Kolkata, and Bengali young men and women out from outside Bengal who were in Calcutta. Most of them, they find that Korean drama, they accept it and they are glued to it. In fact, every session they watch carefully with passion, because that they felt Indian dramas are full of, high-pitched kind of family drama, which are highly moralized. And the morality is they found that it is a outdated kind of morality, too much patriarchal, too much violent and high-pitched. Beside Indian dramas, they found Korean dramas, more kind of gentle, modest, oriented to family.
While you say that, Mr. Ghosh, the other analysis a lot of experts have come out with is that there is a lot of familiarity also. So the emotional connect, the Western concept of going about films and drama is very extreme compared to Korean.
Yes, I'm coming to that. That there is one familiarity which you find. There are many familiarities. The major one is that melodrama, right?
Okay.
All melodramas are not high-pitched melodramas. There are melodramas like Guru Dutt's film. There are melodramas like Ritik Ghatak's films. So melodrama is a very common kind of audiovisual form since 1950s across Asia, in India and across Asia. So they connect Asian, youth, Asian audience with this particular crux. That is melodrama, first of all. Secondly, the Korean dramas, they display a kind of masculinity which is soft which is
masculinity.
tender.
Yeah, correct.
Which you find
That's why you
even
have
in-
all these young girls obsessing over protagonists in K-drama,
Absolutely.
right? That's what explains it. Let's go over to Shweta as well and understand if she agrees, disagrees, to what extent. Shweta, you spoke of Crash Landing on You, but what do you think is the reason why K-drama connects so deeply with Indian viewers?
I think it's because, it's my personal opinion. I think it's because of our culture. India and Korea are so far, but at the same time, we are both in Asia, and Asian culture, Asian mannerisms, everything is similar, especially when it comes to, for example, even our movies and dramas, they are based around family, love, and everything. And even K-dramas show those aspects. So my personal opinion, I think it's because of those things. But others' opinions might be different.
Mr. Ghosh, if I could just come back to you on what you were saying earlier when we talk about the soft masculinity. Now, that's really a refreshing shift, isn't it? What we're also looking at is this new cadence and pace of consuming. As you mentioned, melodrama does not always have to be high-pitched, fever pitch all the time, high octane. So that is something that's really resonated with the people as well. And we see that impact on whether it's skincare, it's fashion, the kind of music that now we're listening to.
Yeah. Mainly K-dramas, they are able to touch the globalization issues, post-globalization issues among the youth. That is, for example, a very popular K-drama of contemporary time, DRX, where you find the life of an actress, her struggle from childhood, her relationships, her daily routine, which includes the fashion, which includes beauty, which includes struggle, which includes her idea about femininity and masculinity. So all these things, the Korean dramas, the Korean other K-wave cultures, they could package them in a very efficient way, in a way so that they can appeal to, they can have an appeal to the new youth, who, who are Gen Z, who are just elderly to Gen Z, or that
But
kind
is
of
this
age
wave
group.
organic?
That
Mr.
is very
Ghosh?
important.
Is this wave organic, or is it largely driven by algorithms and influencers?
Organic, what you
What I mean to say is that do you think
your point.
the Korean culture and its influence in India has grown in a very organic way, or owing to the kind of content influencers,
No,
young
not at-
influencers like Shweta,
No,
for
no,
instance, are publishing?
Yeah, not at all in an organic way. It is a very consciously driven effort. In 1997, Korea, many Asian countries, they faced IMF crisis, International Monetary Fund crisis, because International Monetary Fund is a huge investor in Korea, but that time IMF was in crisis. So the Korean economy faced a huge crisis.
Correct.
And the government, intervened into entertainment sector and told them, instructed them to make something which can be a export quality culture. So everything which are the part of KOM are export quality culture. Seoul is exporting them, all these cultural materials, to the world. Particularly, they targeted the Asian youth, and Asian popular culture, and they could successfully intervene. Yeah.
That's
That
very
is their
interesting, because I thought
Not
perhaps
often.
Yeah.
people do
We
it naturally
stopped
just
short.
when we talk about familiarity, but okay.
Okay, lovely. Let's bring in Shweta into the conversation, because you're saying that this was organic, yes, but in a lot of ways it was all planned. So there was the economic point of view, all of that was considered, and slowly Korean culture has found its way across the world. Shweta, let's talk Korean food. Now, ramyeon, kimchi, Korean fried chicken is something that we see a lot of Indians opting for as well. But how authentic is the Korean food Indians are consuming? Is it like the Indian Chinese? Can I just put it that way?
I don't think it's authentic, because I remember going to Korean restaurants in India. I mean, it, like right now, after I went 3 years back, so I don't know the case right now. But that time it just felt like it was mix of like Desi Chinese rather than Korean cuisine, because what I tasted back there, like 3 years back, and here in Korea, it's completely different. Because Korean food is mostly more on the sweeter side. Like if we think Korean spicy food, then they would have like sweet and spicy flavor. But the spicy flavor that Indians know of is like salty, savory, and spicy. So it's a big difference when you come here and try the dishes that you have tried in India.
And here, Krithveen, I thought I had just developed this really evolved and complex palate, but that's
Well,
clearly
we don't
not
know
the
if
case.
it's authentic Korean as
Right,
yet.
absolutely.
Mr. Ghosh, I want to cite a couple of studies or research, call it what you want, but Swiggy's 2025 data report says orders for Korean food grew by 50% year on year in July 2025 across metro cities. But the growth was even sharper, 59% in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So cities like Surat, Mysuru as well. Why do you think we're looking at this phenomena also sort of creep into the minds and hearts of tier 2, tier 3 cities?
Yeah. It's slightly, in a way explained by Shweta. Already she explained that taste particularly. But apart from that, that the food is something. If you just browse the history of it in last 3 decades, but you find that food is something which has been globalized very quickly, very popularly, and food is an intimate part of us, right? So that kind of thing, that the intimacy with Korean culture also percolated into our food habit. Intimacy, by intimacy I don't mean that it is organic intimacy. Intimacy is, I am not contradicting Shweta. Shweta is correct.
Yeah.
We need to have a minimum identification with something to love it or to like it.
Yeah. Correct.
But rest of the thing is designed, right? The primary identification is organic.
The
But
brilliant
rest
part
of
is,
the
Mr. Ghosh, sorry to interrupt you, we're running out of time. We need to quickly go across to Shweta. But the brilliant part is we're not just looking at this in terms of food, skincare, just drama, also education. A lot of people are also wanting to pursue career in Korea. They want to watch K-drama without subtitles. So the list is endless.
Right.
As
But yeah.
Shweta did, and Shweta, I want to ask you on that. Has your interest in Korean culture grown since you've moved? Did your experience in Korea meet your expectations? How was it different, if at all?
I mean, I personally love living here, and it actually blew my expectations because on the internet before coming to Korea, I was interested in different like Hallyu content, but on the internet people said that Koreans are not very accepting of foreigners, and you will have to face a lot of challenges. It is not like the K-dramas and everything. But when I came here, obviously I had my set of like hardships and everything, but I have met only good people here. So every time I had some problems, there were a lot of Korean people reaching out to me, helping me, since they know, oh, this person is a foreigner and she doesn't know much about Korea, so we have to help them. And because of such experiences, my like personal expectations about Korea grew even more. And at first I only came to Korea to live about like 1 year for just learning the language, but I loved it so much that I'm even like planning of settling in Korea.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's great to hear that you're living a life with no regrets whatsoever, and we're going to wrap up this conversation on that very optimistic note. Thank you so much, Shweta and Mr. Ghosh, for joining us this morning. Thank you.
All right, and with that, we're going to slip into a very short break. News, breaking updates on the other side waiting for you. Don't go anywhere, stay tuned.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, our top focus at this hour. PCB Chairman Mohsin Naqvi met ICC Deputy Chair Imran Khwaja and BCB President Aminul Islam in Lahore on Sunday evening. This comes after efforts continue to break the deadlock over Pakistan's boycott, or should I call it a cop-out, of the India clash in the T20 World Cup. The meeting at Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium raised hopes that the February 15th match in Colombo will go ahead. A PCB source said Khwaja and Aminul, after their discussion with Naqvi, held a virtual meeting with the ICC governing board members later on Sunday. India has reacted. Listen to this.
शायद से जो है पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट बोर्ड ने जो है इनिशिएट कर दिया टॉक्स। तो
देखिए ये सब मैं सब चीज पे कोई कमेंट नहीं करूंगा, न बीसीसीआई की तरफ से कोई कमेंट है इस पे। सारी चीज आईसीसी पे छोड़ी हुई। आईसीसी जो निर्णय लेगा, जो फैसला लेगा, हम वो मानेंगे। आईसीसी जो हमें बताएगा वो करेंगे। आईसीसी के ऊपर सब छोड़ा हुआ।
All right, for more on this, we have Vineet Ramakrishnan joining us live. Thank you so much for joining me. Good morning to you. Of course, this will they, won't they continues. India has given a very measured response as is expected.
Well, yes, good morning, him. India's response has always been the same. They have been looking at what the ICC would do. BCCI in this matter does not have any say, and they really don't want to get into it. But it has been a very dramatic development in the last 48 hours. As you mentioned, there were meeting with the PCB chairman, Mohsin Naqvi, meeting the ICC delegates led by ICC's deputy chair, Imran Khwaja. And what we are given to understand with the reports that are coming in from Pakistan was that it was a 4-hour session where essentially PCB were trying to use their standoff or their cop-out, as you mentioned, as a bargaining chip. Remember, if the India-Pakistan match does not go ahead, it would be a big financial loss for the ICC. And beyond that also, it will be a big loss for the other board members as well from a revenue point of view as well. So ICC trying their level best to mitigate this situation. From the PCB side, as I mentioned, they are probably looking at it as a bargaining chip, and the details, the sources that revealed to us is the fact that PCB are trying to extend their share or increase their share of revenue in the ICC cycle, via this standoff. And this was something that was discussed at the at that meeting, is what we are given to understand. But one thing is clear that PCB also seems to have softened their stand. Again, what we are hearing is that there could be a likely press conference by the PCB's Mohsin Naqvi today, or there could be second rounds of talks regarding the same as well. But as I said, PCB trying to use this as a leverage point to increase their revenue share. And also we are hearing that they've also, because the BCB president Animul Islam Babul was also present at Lahore, even though he was not part of the meeting, we are hearing that the PCB did argue in favor of BCB that their revenue share also gets increased. And despite the fact that they were shunted out of the T20 World Cup for not playing for not participating in the T20 World Cup, to give them their participation fees as well. PCB, remember, they also was a technicality that the force majeure that they were trying to invoke to get out of this India-Pakistan game could not hold water against the ICC, because ICC did ask for the technicalities of it and PCB did not have an answer. Yet ICC are open for talks, because this India-Pakistan game is the biggest revenue churner.
Absolutely.
And as I said, it is not just for the ICC's financial loss, for the entire health of the ICC and the other board members. ICC in a way, looking to mitigate this situation, but PCB clearly using this as a bargaining chip to get their way. And eventually India-Pakistan game might happen, but we'll get more clarity today, because we are hearing that Mohsin Naqvi would most likely do a press conference and we'll get a bit more clarity on the game on the 15th.
Right, Vineet. In fact, especially since the last time we spoke, it seems as though the PCB has been forced to take a hard look at their own books and really do the maths for themselves here as well. As you mentioned, perhaps they're using this as a bargaining chip. But there's only so much that they can be coddled, isn't it?
Yeah, there's only so much that they can really ask for, because it puts them in a situation where, as you mentioned, it's a bigger loss for Pakistan, because if Pakistan go ahead with their stance of boycott, ICC could come down very heavily on them. That will entirely cripple Pakistan cricket in terms of financial sanctions or even bilateral ties, even hosting rights in the future as well. So Pakistan are pretty much staring down the barrel if they go ahead with this stance. So Pakistan also softening their stance. And what we are hearing is that there have been certain board officials in PCB who are also in favor of this match going ahead. So between the board as well, now there is no one coherent stand. While PCB chair Mohsin Naqvi, by lieu of the government order, saying that we will take a stand. Remember, Mohsin Naqvi is also the Pakistan's interior minister. So this goes beyond the realm of cricket. It also gets into that political side of things for Mohsin Naqvi. But the few board members in Pakistan are also vying that they should be going ahead with the India-Pakistan game. But again, the bottom line is Pakistan really using this as a leverage point for the ICC. And ICC for the larger good of the game, to be honest. Look, yes, financial losses are there for them personally, but those losses would indirectly also affect the other board members. The big three, India, England and Australia, would be pretty much isolated back because their revenue models are really robust with the domestic leagues and other structures that they have in place. But if this
Welcome back. You're watching The Breakfast Club. But for the moment, we're going to quickly zoom out, shift our focus to breaking news that's coming in this morning at 8. Let's talk about what's happening ahead of Kerala elections. Home Minister Amit Shah strongly criticized communist ideology, calling it destructive and a barrier to development. He said communism has nearly disappeared across the country, claimed Kerala is the last remaining stronghold, and also expressed confidence that people will bring political change themselves. Let's hear it first up.
हम माओवादी समस्या को जड़ समेत उखाड़ कर फेंकते हैं, मगर ये जो आइडियोलॉजी है, ये विचारधारा जो है, वो विचारधारा को देश की जनता ने जानना चाहिए। विचारधारा ही विनाश की द्योतक विचारधारा है। खैर, वैसे तो अब डेमोक्रेटिक पॉलिटिक्स में बचे भी नहीं है, दूरबीन लेकर देखने पड़ते हैं। ये केरल बचा है, ये भी इस बार समाप्त हो जाएगा, तो वैसे ही जनता ही कर देगी। त्रिपुरा में नहीं बचे, बंगाल में नहीं बचे, केरल थोड़ा बचा है, मगर वहां पर भी त्रिवेंद्रम में जनता ने शुरुआत कर दी है।
All right, for more on this, we have Arunima live with us. Arunima, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, what we're seeing here is as this race heats up, there's been a sharp statement by Home Minister Amit Shah. He's criticized the communist ideology, and he's really talking about how perhaps it's taken root in the country, and that is something that needs to be dealt with. How do you assess these statements?
So it is because Kerala elections are around the corner. Earlier, in the week, he actually praised Sadanand Master in Rajya Sabha from Kerala, nominated by the Bharatiya Janata Party. His speech where he was actually attacked, assaulted, and he lost his limbs. So Amit Shah actually spoke about Sadanand Master also, and then soon after comes this attack on communist ideology. It is keeping in mind the Kerala elections. What you also have to see is this comment that he made at a conclave of organizer came soon after he visited Chhattisgarh, where again left-driven Naxal ideology is something that is on the wane, and he has been taking regular review meetings about that left-oriented Naxal ideology as well. So essentially what he has been saying is that anybody who's aligned towards the left is being rejected by people of this country. Tripura, which has a left government, now has a BJP government. West Bengal had a left government, and in fact Jyoti Basu made a record for being in power for decades. Now it is Mamata Banerjee, and the main opposition is BJP. And Amit Shah making that pitch that Kerala is on the threshold of taking a turn away from left as well.
All right, Arunima, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. Of course, this is something that we'll continue to keep a track on as well through the course of the day. Moving on then, Congress MP is hit out at RSS over Bharat Ratna demand for Savarkar. He was the first to define the two-nation theory is what they're contesting, responding to RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat's statement that the Bharat Ratna's prestige will increase if awarded to Veer Savarkar. Congress MP Imran Masood has said, and I'm quoting here, on what grounds should he be awarded the Bharat Ratna, for what merit, causing the partition of India and Pakistan? It was Savarkar who first propagated the idea of two nations within the country and laid the ideological foundation for the division between India and Pakistan. Listen to this.
कौन सी खूबी के लिए भारत को और पाकिस्तान का बंटवारा कराने के लिए कि उन्होंने पहले देश के अंदर द्विराष्ट्र की जो परिभाषा दी थी वो पहले सावरकर साहब ने दी थी। हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान का बंटवारा कराने की जो नींव रखी थी वो उन्होंने रखी थी।
अभी पुरस्कार की प्रतिष्ठा बढ़ेगी कि कम होगी ये तो लोग जानते हैं। सावरकर को पुरस्कार, इतना बड़ा पुरस्कार देने की वजह क्या है, कारण क्या है? क्या उन्होंने जिस तरह से गाय का भी मटन खाना चाहिए ये बोला इसलिए कि यहाँ ब्रिटिशों को हर तरह की मदद की, माफी मांग के जेल से बाहर आए और आगे जाके पूरी तरह से ब्रिटिशों के साथ रहे, इसलिए उनको मदद करने की, क्योंकि गांधी जी के खून में भी उनका सहभाग था।
Madhuparna Das joins us with more. Good morning, Madhuparna. You have RSS chief now saying in as many words that if Bharat Ratna was conferred to Veer Savarkar, the stature of the the honor would go up. That's what he said, but the kind of criticism coming in from the Congress is also not new. We've seen for the longest time the RSS bat for this, with the opposition objecting to it strongly, isn't it?
That's right, See, Savarkar has always been the most controversial figure in Indian politics. In fact, I can say one of the most controversial figures in Indian politics. But for the RSS, he has been an icon always, and that also is happening. That has happened despite Savarkar being a critic of the RSS, because initially he was very critical of the RSS, because he always wanted RSS to take part in politics, and initially RSS was just a volunteer group. So there was some sort of a tiff, some sort of a conflict over ideologies that happened. But later, Savarkar became an icon, an ideological. He has always been worshipped, an ideological hero for the RSS. And now, let me also clarify one thing. RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat did not really demand Bharat Ratna for Veer Savarkar. He was asked about it, and he just said that if Bharat Ratna is announced for Veer Savarkar, then he will. Bharat Ratna is announced for Veer Savarkar, then the stature of the title would be elevated. So this was that kind of a line. And after that, he also said that even if he doesn't get it, he is the king of Indians' hearts.
Correct. Something, Madhuparna, the opposition, in particular the Congress, will never agree to. But thank you so much for breaking down that story for us. We head into a very short break. On the other side, we go across to our person of interest this morning. He's just 9-year-old, but he is creating magic in ways more than one. We'll be going over to Vedart in just a bit. Be right back.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, our top focus at this hour. PCB Chairman Mohsin Naqvi met ICC Deputy Chair Imran Khwaja and BCB President Aminul Islam in Lahore on Sunday evening. This comes after efforts continue to break the deadlock over Pakistan's boycott, or should I call it a cop-out, of the India clash in the T20 World Cup. The meeting at Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium raised hopes that the February 15th match in Colombo will go ahead. A PCB source said Khwaja and Aminul, after their discussion with Naqvi, held a virtual meeting with the ICC governing board members later on Sunday. India has reacted. Listen to this.
शायद से जो है पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट बोर्ड ने जो है इनिशिएट कर दिया टॉक्स।
देखिए, ये सब मैं सब चीज पे कोई कमेंट नहीं करूंगा, न बीसीसीआई की तरफ से कोई कमेंट है इस पे। सारी चीज आईसीसी पे छोड़ी हुई। आईसीसी जो निर्णय लेगा, जो फैसला लेगा, हम वो मानेंगे। आईसीसी जो हमें बताएगा वो करेंगे। आईसीसी के ऊपर सब छोड़ा हुआ।
All right, for more on this, we have Vineet Ramakrishnan joining us live. Thank you so much for joining me. Good morning to you. Of course, this will they, won't they continues. India has given a very measured response, as is expected.
Well, yes, good morning, Him. India's response has always been the same. They have been looking at what the ICC would do. BCCI in this matter does not have any say, and they really don't want to get into it. But it has been a very dramatic development in the last 48 hours. As you mentioned, there were meeting with the PCB chairman, Mohsin Naqvi, meeting the ICC delegates led by ICC's deputy chair, Imran Khwaja. And what we are given to understand with the reports that are coming in from Pakistan was that it was a 4-hour session situation where essentially PCB were trying to use their standoff or their cop-out, as you mentioned, as a bargaining chip. Remember, if the India-Pakistan match does not go ahead, it would be a big financial loss for the ICC, and beyond that also, it will be a big loss for the other board members as well from a revenue point of view as well. So ICC trying their level best to mitigate this situation. From the PCB side, as I mentioned, they are probably looking at it as a bargaining chip, and the details, the sources that reveal to us is the fact that PCB are trying to extend their share or increase their share of revenue in the ICC cycle, via this standoff. And this was something that was discussed at the at that meeting, is what we are given to understand. But one thing is clear, that PCB also seems to have softened their stand. Again, what we are
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now we have with us our person of interest. Vedant is 9 years old and his life looks nothing like the usual school morning rush. No uniforms, no bells, no exams. Instead, his days unfold around curiosity. If something catches his interest, that's where the learning begins.
He follows unschooling. It's a style of learning that skips rigid textbooks and leans heavily on real-world experiences. One day he might be buried in books, another day he's building robots, coding games, or designing Legos. Picture a 9-year-old confidently handling money, running mini businesses, helping at home. That's Vedant for you.
And with his mother's guidance, he invests his hard-earned money into SIPs. He's already earned close to 10,000 rupees and understands what it means to grow it responsibly.
Together, he and his mother conduct workshops to help other families understand unschooling, sharing not theory but lived experiences. It's not about rejecting education entirely. It's actually about redefining it. We're being joined by Vedant himself. Good morning, Vedant. Hi, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, totally.
Lovely seeing you. Tell us all about your day. Let's begin with that. So what does Vedant's typical day look like?
So, basically, I wake up and I plan my day. What do I want to do in my day? So, I write it on a piece of paper, what do I want to do first. And mostly my main interests are, I've written a book, so I'm writing another one. So, I read and I write, and I also play tennis, yeah.
You've written a book. I would like to know more about this. What is this book about, Vedant, and what are you working on next?
Yeah, so it's about 5 friends. It's about 5 friends who solve a mystery. And yeah, I suggest it's for kids who are 6 to 12 or 13. So yeah, and I'm writing a sequel to it.
Wow. Vedant, now for anyone who's not heard of or doesn't completely understand the concept of unschooling, can you come in a little on that? Tell us what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's really not to do away with education as such. It's just a different way of going about learning, right?
Yeah.
So educate us this morning.
Yeah, so basically it's not just not going to school. It's like being curious and discovering your interest, being curious, just learn every bit of life, wherever you go, try to be curious and learn something new.
All right, so the focus is really on observing more, seeing where your interest lies. So with that, we also saw that you're into designing logos, you're into robotics, coding. So who helps you with all of that? And do you really have some sort of a curriculum that you follow, or do you come up with a plan to study this on your own?
Well, I come up with projects. So basically, example, I want to build this Lego. Today I want to build this Lego, and maybe a time limit or something like that on this. Or I want to build, I want to publish a book. So that's a project. Or maybe something else, reading 100 books. That can be also a project. So yeah, I pick up projects like that, then yeah, I execute them.
Lovely. Vedant, we've heard so much about everything that you're doing in your day, it starts with what interests you. So books like you like to read, robotics is something that interests you. I believe you're also attending workshops, correct?
Yeah.
So Vedat, when you go attend these workshops, when you're interacting with other children your age who are possibly going to school as well, what is it that they tell you? How do you communicate with them? Do they come up with questions and ask you why you're not exactly going to school?
Yeah, many people ask me why, but my answer is because I want to focus on my interests. And if we go to school, I think the time of spending my time with my interests decreases rapidly. So I get really less time to spend with my interests, and so basically, that's the whole point.
All right, so you're saying that you want to focus on what truly interests you, really spend all your time on that and get practical knowledge about it. When we talk about workshops and all, are your parents helping you? Are they when you set these projects for yourself, how are you assessing how much progress have you made in those projects?
So, different projects. I do different projects, and not every time my parents help me. So I also connect in industrial experts, mostly. In SIP, I in SIP, I can't find the right word, but
That's okay.
basically I go to them, and then I learn from everywhere. I learn from basically if I'm going to a shop, so I buy things, not my parents. So there's an open window to learn everywhere.
Okay, Vedat, how do you plan to take this forward from, let's say, 10 years from now? So you're 9 currently, you're learning a lot more than maybe children your age, but when you get to a point where you have to choose whether you want to pursue education, you want to get into some sort of a professional course, if you're not going to be going through proper schooling, what's the plan then? Tell us that.
So I don't know about later on, the college and stuff. Maybe I'm gonna go to college, maybe not.
Or maybe you'll start your own company, who knows? Maybe a robotics company, correct?
Yeah. So my current goal is to maybe write another 50 books or maybe something like that. On from that, save it, put it in SIP, and also become a tennis professional. It's a small goal, but I'm sure it will become big one day. And
I want to ask Vedat about his friend circle, because you're not going to school. How are you interacting with other children? Do you have a friend circle? Is it a big friend circle? Tell us more.
Well, I want to ask that question to myself first. How did I make friends? So, actually, I don't know. I go everywhere. I go to tennis class. I made I went SAM, unschooling community. I made some friends from that.
Lovely. Vedat, we love this energy. Thank you so much. This is such a fresh perspective that you're bringing for us, and we love that you're going to all these workshops, meeting people, meeting kids your age. It's truly been such an interesting thing to learn about this morning. Thank you so much for educating us.
Okay, well, thanks Vedat. Let's quickly shift our focus now to other stories that we're tracking from around the country, across the world, entertainment, sports, much more coming up.
An Iranian lawmaker claims that Tehran warned US President Donald Trump of severe retaliation if Iran were attacked. Mahmoud Nabivian, a member of Iran's Parliamentary National Security Committee, said Trump had sent a message through an unnamed intermediary seeking permission to strike targets inside Iran, and stated that Iran responded with a strong warning, saying any military action would result in thousands of American casualties, underscoring heightened tensions between the two sides.
A social media post by billionaire Elon Musk has reignited a debate over mail-in voting in the US. Musk endorsed calls to sharply restrict the practice, citing concerns over voter fraud. Reacting to a post claiming mail-in ballots should be limited to overseas troops and people with serious medical conditions, he wrote, and I quote, critical to avoid fraud. His remarks have sparked fresh discussion online over election integrity and voting access.
Actor Priyanka Chopra melts hearts on social media after sharing an adorable family moment featuring Nick Jonas and Malti Marie. In an Instagram story, Priyanka posted a photo of Nick holding hands with Malti Marie and also revealed that the touching picture will feature as the back cover of Nick Jonas's upcoming album, sending fans into a frenzy over the intimate and heartwarming glimpse.
Actor-model Natasha Stankovic is back in the spotlight after a video of her dancing at a college fest went viral online. The clip filmed at Pillai University triggered heavy trolling on social media, with several users posting derogatory comments following her divorce from cricketer Hardik Pandya. However, many also came out in her support, urging restraint and calling out online harassment as the debate over personal choices and public scrutiny reignited across platforms. Speaking of more, we're tracking from the world of entertainment. Akshay Kumar's horror comedy Bhoot Bangla will now release on the 10th of April this year. Instead of 15th of May, the actor announced the new date with a quirky clip featuring a black cat cleverly hinting at the change. The film marks his reunion with director Priyadarshan after 14 long years. But what prompted the makers to advance the release? We get you more in this Shosha report. Take a look.
There's exciting news for Akshay Kumar fans. His upcoming horror comedy Bhoot Bangla now has a brand new release date. On Saturday, Akshay announced that Bhoot Bangla will now be released in theatres on April 10, 2026. The film, which marks Akshay's reunion with director Priyadarshan after 14 years, was earlier slated to hit cinemas on May 15. However, the makers have decided to bring the release forward by a few weeks. To make the announcement, Akshay shared a quirky clip on social media. The clip features a black cat scratching at a table calendar that is open to the month of May. The calendar then falls to the ground, spilling milk all over it and flipping to the month of April. The cat then licks the date 10, cleverly hinting at the film's new release date. Although the clip does not feature Akshay himself, fans love the creative concept and are already counting down the days. Sharing the clip, Akshay captioned it, Bhoot Bangla ka countdown rewind. Back in January, Balaji Motion Pictures had officially announced that the film would arrive in theatres in May 2026. Meanwhile, producer Ekta Kapoor also took to her X account to express her excitement about the updated release date. According to reports, the makers addressed the shift in a statement. They explained that the new release date is aimed at securing a favorable theatrical window while avoiding box office congestion. The idea is to ensure that the film gets adequate breathing space at the cinemas. In keeping with this strategy, Akshay Kumar has reportedly been mindful of planning his releases in a way that allows each film a fair theatrical run, giving audiences enough time to engage with its box office journey. Interestingly, 2026 is shaping up to be a packed year for Akshay. The actor reportedly has multiple theatrical releases lined up, including Welcome to the Jungle and Haiwan. Apart from Akshay, Bhoot Bangla also stars Vamika Gabbi, Paresh Rawal, Tabu, Rajpal Yadav and the late veteran actor Asrani. One of the biggest reasons for the growing buzz is the trusted collaboration between Akshay and Priyadarshan. The duo had delivered several iconic comedies over the years, including Hera Feri, Garam Masala, Bhool Bhulaiya and Bhagam Bhag. With the successful pairing returning to the big screen, expectations are naturally high. Are you looking forward to Bhoot Bangla?
All right, in India's Project Cheetah, launched in 2022 to restore the species declared extinct in the 1960s, continues to expand after successfully relocating cheetahs from Namibia and South Africa. India is now set to receive 8 more cheetahs from Botswana by the end of February. Take a look.
Well, there is some news for those tracking government's ambitious wildlife conservation project, Project Cheetah. Now, the total number of Indian-born surviving cubs has increased to 24 with the latest addition this week. Union Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav confirmed that the 8th litter has been born on the Indian soil, this time to Namibian cat Asha, which has given birth to around 5 cubs in Madhya Pradesh Kuno National Park. With this, the total number of Indian-born surviving cubs has increased to 24. Overall, the number of cheetahs in the country now stand at around 35. Remember, 11 of them are adults and 24 of them are cubs, which have managed to survive so far. Overall, this project began in 2022, so it's been almost over 3 to 4 years since the project was started by the government. It began by airlifting 8 cheetahs from Namibia in September 2022, followed with the second batch from South Africa of around 12 cheetahs. So out of those 20 adults, 11 have managed to survive so far. Rest of them have died due to multiple causes, but this population is also expanding since the 8th litter has been born now. The entire target of this project is to ensure a stable meta population in India in the next 25 years. So this population will be supplemented with the fresh batches from other countries where we still have cheetahs. So in another news, Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav confirmed that the 3rd batch of cheetahs, this time from Botswana, will be brought in by February end. So a batch of 8 cheetahs will be airlifted exactly in the same manner that we did from Namibia and South Africa. And he said that this is likely to happen by the end of February. Remember, we told you that last year around November, President of India, Ms. Draupadi Murmu, had visited Botswana where the customary handover was done. Around 8 cheetahs were identified from the Ganzi region in Botswana, very popular site, and they have been shifted to the Moklodi Natural Reserve. They are shifted in a quarantine facility, and now necessary checks are being done. Some of their officials had also visited Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh, where the preparations are underway to welcome the 3rd batch of cheetahs in order to continue this project. Remember, this entire project was initiated by the government in order to revive the population of this critical carnivore in the country. Now, cheetahs, the fastest land animal on earth, was declared extinct in India in 1960s when its population plummeted sharply due to multiple causes, hunting, poaching activities, and in the last 50-60 years there has been no sighting of cheetahs in the country. But over the last 2 decades, the talks began with the government wanting to revive the population of this critical carnivore in the country. It is, of course, a flagship carnivore species, but another reason given by the government is that they want to protect protect the ecosystem in which they thrive, which is definitely the grasslands of India. So far, we have about 35 cheetahs in the country, and with the latest addition, the number will go up when we have 8 cheetahs arriving from Botswana.
And now we bring to you a special section on financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, Money Control's premium destination for investing in business insights. Indian markets are expected to open flat as indicated by GIFT Nifty. A strong closing by US markets on Friday with the Dow Jones crossing 50,000 is expected to have a bullish impact on the Indian markets. Asian markets are trading higher in early trades and gold futures are trading marginally higher as well, while crude oil futures are trading lower in derivatives markets.
Now, lending to the underserved remains a meaningful business opportunity. This high-yield income stream, it's attracted marquee names. The business remains cyclical with significant asset quality stress during the down cycle as well. As lenders pivot to more secured assets to improve asset quality, the lower yields compress profitability over time. And then you can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about financial institutions, non-banking finance companies, along with other actionable insights on markets. It is the premier destination for all the investing views and financial insights you will ever need, brought to you by Money Control.
That's all we could pack for you in this edition of the Breakfast Club. Thanks for staying up with us. Hope you had a great start to your week.
And of course, we'll continue to bring you more such topics of conversation through the course of the week as well. With that, we're going to call it a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, our top focus at this hour. PCB Chairman Mohsin Naqvi met ICC Deputy Chair Imran Khwaja and BCB President Aminul Islam in Lahore on Sunday evening. This comes after efforts continue to break the deadlock over Pakistan's boycott, or should I call it a cop-out, of the India clash in the T20 World Cup. The meeting at Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium raised hopes that the February 15th match in Colombo will go ahead. A PCB source said Khwaja and Aminul, after their discussion with Naqvi, held a virtual meeting with the ICC governing board members later on Sunday. India has reacted. Listen to this.
शायद से जो है पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट बोर्ड ने जो है इनिशिएट कर दिया टॉक्स।
देखिए, ये सब मैं सब चीज पे कोई कमेंट नहीं करूंगा, न बीसीसीआई की तरफ से कोई कमेंट है इस पे। सारी चीज आईसीसी पे छोड़ी हुई। आईसीसी जो निर्णय लेगा, जो फैसला लेगा, हम वो मानेंगे। आईसीसी जो हमें बताएगा वो करेंगे। आईसीसी के ऊपर सब छोड़ा हुआ है।
All right, for more on this, we have Vineet Ramakrishnan joining us live. Thank you so much for joining me. Good morning to you. Of course, this will they, won't they continues. India has given a very measured response as is expected.
Well, yes, good morning, Him. India's response has always been the same. They have been looking at what the ICC would do. BCCI in this matter does not have any say, and they really don't want to get into it. But it has been a very dramatic development in the last 48 hours. As you mentioned, there were a meeting with the PCB chairman, Mohsin Naqvi, meeting the ICC delegates led by ICC's deputy chair, Imran Khwaja. And what we are given to understand with the reports that are coming in from Pakistan was that it was a 4-hour session where essentially PCB were trying to use their standoff or their cop-out, as you mentioned, as a bargaining chip. Remember, if the India-Pakistan match does not go ahead, it would be a big financial loss for the ICC. And beyond that also, it will be a big loss for the other board members as well from a revenue point of view as well. So ICC trying their level best to mitigate this situation. From the PCB side, as I mentioned, they are probably looking at it as a bargaining chip, and the details, the sources that reveal to us is the fact that PCB are
Welcome back to CNN News 18. Thank you so much for staying with us. Of course, lots lined up for you right now. Let's get started with the headlines that we're tracking at this hour. After a turbulent week, Lok Sabha Speaker reaches out to parties to end the deadlock. Opposition seeks reinstatement of 8 suspended MPs and allowing the leader of the opposition to speak. Opposition mulls to corner the government in Parliament over the India-US trade deal and Russian oil purchases, questioning who is privy to the agreement. Mohan Bhagwat backs Bharat Ratna for Savarkar, says it would elevate the honour. Congress objects, cites his association with two-nation theory. BJP defends his freedom struggle role. Ahead of Assam polls, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma refers SIT report to MHA, alleges Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi and his wife have Pakistani links. Gogoi dismissed the claims as false. TVK chief and actor Vijay may contest Tamil Nadu elections from Chennai's Virugambakam and Trichy East, targeting key DMK strongholds. Bengaluru's Nama Metro 5% fare hike put on hold after strong public and political backlash. BMRCL to review the decision. Bangladesh prepares for polls first since mass uprising ousted Sheikh Hasina. BNP and Jamaat contest while Awami League is barred. CNN News 18 reports from Dhaka.